Hey, it's Rick from Jericho. This time of year I am sure you're running into lots of problems in the yard. Part of the reason we're here. Some of what we're going to do on today's video, if you have this, you will need that. We'll go over some specifics as I make my way to my seat here to tell you if you have geraniums, you have budworms, you'll need thuricide. But before I get into that, I really think we ought to talk about watering. It's in the upper 90s for the next couple of weeks. It's really, really hot. Anything above 90 degrees requires extra water. 80% of the problems we deal with here at the nursery for most of my customers are a lack of water. It's not always the problem. And we'll talk about some other problems here today, but it's cheap and it's easy. Check your drippers, make sure you're watering 2 or 3 times a week at least. Your drippers should be putting out ample amounts of water. This is a 5-gallon shrub. When you put in a 5-gallon shrub, we expect you to water 5 gallons of water every time you water. We'll talk about that as well. So every time you water, and when you do new plantings, excess water. You will not overwater in heat like this, even if it's native and xeric plants. So, on with the show. If you haven't fertilized in quite some time, the fertilizer we're always talking about on radio and TV is the 1688 with iron and sulfur. This has more iron and sulfur than iron supplements. This is steak and potatoes and 1 a day plus iron. So if you have not fertilized in the past 3 months, you probably need to fertilize again with this product. It is good for trees, shrubs, lawns, and roses. Just had the label changed. Great instruction even on containers and how much to use for how big trees and shrubs and pots are. Great all-round food for most everything you've got. Would not use it on flower beds or vegetables, but everything else it's really, really good for. If you have geraniums or petunias, that fertilizer would be a little different. In a high middle number, we recommend this particular product, Carl Pools BR61. That middle number is for blooming and rooting, but all blooming foods are high in this middle number. This is the highest money can buy, one of the best you're gonna get. Once I get people on this, they're like, what did you put in there? What kind of steroids make these things look like this? This is it. I guarantee you, if you have a geranium or a petunia, you have budworms right now. So if you have these, you need this. This is thuricide, BT, Bacillus thuringiensis, small print, just thuricide, BT, we'll all know what you're talking about. Works on the Lepidoptera family. Lepidopteras are moths and butterflies. Moths and butterflies larvae are worms and caterpillars that eat plants. So this can be used on your, very, very safe, biological control by the way. It can be used on your geraniums, your petunias, or your tomatoes. And I guarantee you right now, if you have a geranium or a petunia and it's not flowering, the bugs are eating it, and this is what they're feeding on. If you have squash and or cucurbits in the yard, I also guarantee that you probably have squash bugs. So if you have squash, zucchini, cucumbers, any of the cucurbit family, the only thing I've ever seen, and surprisingly it's organic, is this Permagard. This Permagard is a combination of diatomaceous earth and pyrethrins, can be used as a dust or a powder. Easy used as a dust. Here's a duster for it, an easy one. I've got some heavy duty dusters coming in a week or so, but here's a duster. Dust up underneath the foliage. This will take care of your squash bugs, give you a lot longer as long as you're willing to treat every 5 to 7 days with this product. I guarantee again, you got squash or cucurbits, you have squash bugs, that will take care of those. If you have tomatoes and the rest of it, you probably have some problems with your tomato setting. Perfect example, Lou picked this plant out, not a tomato one on it. Flowers coming on, no fruit. You can spray that flower with this tomato set. That'll help set the flowers. One of my partners in crime recommended this product a couple of years ago. Instead of this tomato and vegetable food has calcium, one of the better things for your tomato and vegetable gardening. So if you have tomatoes and vegetables, we would recommend that. Last but not least, if you are anemic, and Lou said, what's anemic? Anemic is this. See how yellow that is, and the vascular system is green? this versus this, that nice light limey green versus that dark healthy green, it's lacking iron. So steak and potatoes with iron, or maybe you just need some iron. I would use a name everybody would recommend, or no, we recommend Max Green. It's 60% sulfur, 22% iron, one of the highest iron sulfur formulations you can buy. Hope this helps you get through the next couple of weeks. Call us if not. Rick from Jericho Nursery, glad to spend a little time with you. Thanks for tuning in.